you said something about Francis being not caring about him
I
coming
just
back.
think if he didn't come, if they stripped him, I don't think people would really care that much. I could see
Yeah,
Ariel Helwani hating on it and like that's it, but does
that's
anyone
a
really care? I mean, he's been out for so long. He's a hard champion to deal with. He's always talking about money and all this. Like, he doesn't get in the cage and he doesn't fight, and that's not helping him grow his status as a star. I
yeah.
mean,
I'm
listen, if
upset
he
about
cares
that.
about money, just fucking leave and become a boxer. Like, fight Deontay Wilder.
I'm real upset about that division, honestly.
Heavyweight division is held up more than any other division. John
It's
Jones,
real
Stipe,
sad.
Francis.
It's
These
sad
guys just won't
because
fight.
the heavyweight division is such a it's
Has
such a
so much potential.
yeah, it's so much potential, and it's just such a like when you think of
Yeah.
divisions in boxing, in UFC, and MMA, you think of the heavyweight division. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the
But that's
first
the thing.
division that's
Right
coming
now,
to
it's like
mind.
no one's thinking about it because there's no big fights. And that's
No,
the sad part.
like what's
That's
going
why I
on?
think Cyril Gahn, like, just make a title shot. Just
Give
John
yeah,
Jones, do you want the fight? No? Okay. Stipe, Cyril Gahn. Good. Like, just
but
make something.
I just think nobody wants to fight. Like you got Francis, who's hurt and who also is complaining about the money. You got
He's
John Jones, who's like scared of his shadow at this point, I guess. Then you have Stipe Miocic, who's trying to be a firefighter. Like like it's such a shame. Like I
I
guess like
think they're worried about money, man. I really think it's the money. I
you think
think
it's the money.
someone
I don't know if it's the
I
money
think
with
John
Stipe though.
Jones, or I think if I'm Steve, like, if I'm the UFC, I want to get that fight done. I'm trying to get it done, but it just won't be done. And the thing is, they say, will you be ready by spring? Why wouldn't you? Like, here's what I think. I think maybe Stipe is giving them issues because they wanted John Jones, and John Jones said he would be ready for the winter. But
But
then
how do we know
Stipe
he
is
said
giving
that though?
issues because Dana White had an interview recently, said he'll be ready in the spring. But maybe that means that Francis is coming back. Francis Ngannou would like to fight John Jones. He's just injured, you know?
Yeah, but what's happening with Cyril Gahn? It's just like this division.
Remember, here's Cyril Gahn's injured. He injured
Oh,
his hand.
his hand. Okay,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. But yeah, no, I mean, we got Tom Aspinall, like all these guys, like
Guys are injured.
there's so many holdups, you know what I mean? Like all these guys are so talented. Like I don't think the heavyweight division's a bad
It's a
division.
good division. It's interesting.
Like it's a real good division. It's
Let's talk about most interesting divisions right now. I think the most interesting division is 135. It was lightweight, but now Islam is champion.
No,
I don't see
yeah.
anyone beating him. I think it's 135. Underratedly, I think 170 is still interesting.
Oh, 170 for sure. But once Chimaev leaves the division, it's
not that interesting.
But
I think middleweight has potential, but it's not that interesting right now. I think that heavyweight has potential. It's not that interesting. Man, if you really think about it, the sport's kind of in a not a great place.
It's not. But there's a couple of guys who could save it. There's Alex Pereira who could save it.
There's Sean O'Malley.
But I mean, that bantamweight division is going to be entertaining no matter what.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the problem. They're not needing a star. But yeah, the division being entertaining. I mean, 205, I guess
it's entertaining. Yeah,
it's intriguing. But I would say it's always lightweight. It's always been bantamweight and lightweight, but now it's only bantamweight. So now I think it's bantamweight, welterweight. I'm gonna say 205 right now. Not because the skill level at all.
Because the fights are great.
The fights are all going to be great. All these top 5 guys, besides Anthony Smith, like get him out of the top 5. But all these guys in the top 5, I mean, like there's good matchups for all of them. You know, I mean, that will all be entertaining fights. So I think 205 is number 3. I think number 4 is probably 80 heavyweight. I'm still going to say. But the thing about heavyweight, it all relies on John Jones, in my opinion. Actually, I don't even think it does, actually. I just think we need to know. I think we need to know what's happening. That's the biggest thing about the heavyweight division. We need to know what the direction is going, at least. You know what I'm saying? We need to know if John Jones is actually coming back. We need to know if Francis Ngannou is actually.
We're not getting any fights because Spivak and Derek Lewis are the biggest heavyweight fights. Like, that's not big at all.
And also Tuivasa is also fighting, which is so stupid.
He's fighting
Sergey Pavlovich after like taking so much stupid. But anyways, like I think the heavyweight division is very entertaining. It just we need to know a direction. Like we need to know what's happening. We need to know when Tom Aspinall is coming back, We need to know how Cyril Gane's hand is. We need to know how Francis Ngannou's knee is. We need to know like this information that will make it a lot more entertaining. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm still gonna have heavyweight at number 3. Number 4, middleweight maybe, I guess, just because the chance that Pereira ends up winning. And that if Pereira wins, I think there's interesting fights for him. There's the Whitaker fight. There's if Costa beats Whitaker, would be Pereira versus Costa. And there's also Chimaev. If Chimaev moves up, him versus Pereira enters the
Bo Nickel in the future.
Bo Nickel in the future for sure. You know, and I think if middleweight, like what if Whitaker beats Paulo Costa, and then Pereira beats Adesanya and knocks him out so badly that Adesanya doesn't want a rematch. So they have Whitaker versus Pereira, then Whitaker's the champion, and that makes things super interesting if Whitaker's champion. Because then you can do the Comes Out Whitaker fight. So yeah, I think middleweight's going to be on the rise real soon. And then I think that there's lightweight, which is went from being.
Let's be honest, lightweight was kind of ruined tonight.
Lightweight was completely ruined by Islam winning. Nobody's gonna touch him. So, but yeah, so I would say it's still there. I would still say featherweight and flyweight are less entertaining, just because I don't really consider flyweight a real division, to be honest. Whenever guys are fighting four times, it's not a real division. And then in terms of featherweight, like it's the same as, like, that would be like Charles Oliveira losing to Islam Makhachev 3 times.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I just don't see there being a guy who is on the rise
that much.
Like, yeah, like, I mean, a guy who's even on the rise. Like, I mean, Arnold Allen, I think he's good, but I don't think
we got to talk about that fight. That's next week.